Fat loss isn't easy. In fact, it took me years to get abs and keep the fat off. But the actual process itself isn't that difficult. It's the changes in your lifestyle. It's the changes in the habits and the behaviors that you do on a day-to-day basis. That's what makes it difficult. And here's one thing that can make that process a bit easier. Sleep. We all know sleep is important, but here's 3 ways how it affects fat loss. The first thing is your mood. Like, we eat to feel good. And if you're anything like me, you gain weight because of that reason. Food gave you comfort. Whenever you were stressed, angry or sad, that's what you could turn to. It made you feel good. But instead of trying to cure a bad mood with food, instead of using food to cure stress, sadness, depression, anxiety or whatever, why not just set yourself up to be in a good mood by sleeping more or sleeping better? So if you sleep better, you feel better, you'd eat less, and that would help you in your fat loss journey. Point 2 is your inhibitions. If you get less sleep or less quality of sleep, you have less self-control. Because if your sleep is bad and you wake up tired, doing the hard things, like going to the gym or preparing a healthy meal, becomes even harder, and you're more likely to turn to the easy options. And the easy options are the things that you're familiar with, the very things that made you gain weight in the first place. In other words, if you don't get enough sleep, you're less likely to stick to the plan. Point 3 is your recovery. Like, let's say you're in a calorie deficit and you're training hard, but your sleep isn't good. In the short term, you probably will lose weight, you probably will get results, but in the long term, that fatigue is going to build up, you're going to get tired, your muscles are going to be sore, and then you won't have a choice but to stop training or take a break from training, and that affects your long-term consistency. And as we know, I'm a big proponent of consistency, because if you lose your consistency, you're going to lose your momentum. It's just going to be a series of ups and downs, phases where you lose weight, phases where you're not making any progress, and phases where you go backwards in yourself and you start gaining weight. So better sleep means better recovery. And in the long term, that will help you stay consistent. So now we know that sleep is essential for fat loss. Here's how to make it better. First thing is, don't eat too late. Does eating late make you gain weight? I don't think so. But it can affect your sleep. And as we just talked about, that can affect your long-term fat loss success. So I'd recommend eating 3 hours before bed. The second point is to get sunlight in the morning. We evolved waking to sunlight, and it's that sunlight that sets our circadian rhythm, our internal body clock. It's that clock that tells us to be awake when we need to be awake and tired when we need to be tired. And getting sunlight in our eyes sort of resets that watch. It's what makes sure our energy levels is where we need them to be at the right time. So by getting sunlight in your eyes in the morning, you're telling your body to be awake during the day and tired at night when you should be asleep anyway. Third point is put away your screen. Screens mess with that internal body clock. It messes with your circadian rhythm. So your body still thinks it's daytime, meaning it's harder to fall asleep at night. So get off social media, stop texting that girl and stop watching that content that you're watching and pick up a book instead. The fourth thing is managing your caffeine intake. Caffeine is good for work and working out, but in the long term, it'll mess with your sleep if you take it too late. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors in your brain, and that makes you feel more awake. The issue is caffeine can stay in your system for hours, so if you take it too late, it's going to mess with your sleep. So I'd recommend only taking caffeine in the morning or early afternoon. Number 5 is a regular routine. As I said, I'm big on consistency, and the same goes for when you wake up and when you go to sleep. If you keep those times the same every day, you're going to help regulate your circadian rhythm, and that will help improve your sleep in the long run. So sleep affects fat loss by affecting your mood, your inhibitions and your recovery. And to improve your sleep, you shouldn't eat too late, get some sunlight in the morning, put away the screens, manage your caffeine intake and stick to a regular routine. The point is, if you improve your sleep, you make your fat loss journey easier.